The liver is involved in our mood. Mood is a big issue with most people. Let's just be honest, right? People want to lose weight, they want to feel better. If our brain is cloudy because we lack sleep, and if our liver is inflamed because we put bad things in there, you have to imagine you're not going to feel good holding on to things that are basically inflaming you. So sleep's going to detox the stuff in the brain, the liver's going to detox the rest of the body.
As you think about these things, your body is either detoxing or building health and vitality. This is actually a product that can do them both at the same time.
Yep.
Where if we can take the stress load off our internal organs, there's going to be physiological changes, but there's also mental changes.
Welcome to the Brain Fitness Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Patrick Porter. Please join us on our mission to better a billion brains. Enjoy the episode and remember to share it with your family and friends.
Hey, BrainTap Nation. We're here with one of my favorite biohacks, actually, because most people don't understand the value of your liver and what it does. They just kind of abuse it all day and all night. So why don't you share a little bit about who you are, what I'm talking about here, because it's called Liver Love. Yeah. It's a product that I've been taking now for quite a few months. I got a supply of it because I know how important the liver is, but they don't know what you know. I sit down in your talk at a conference in Austin, and I was blown away by what you said. So I said, we need to get that out to BrainTap Nation. So tell us a little bit.
All right, well, Dr. Porter, thank you. My name is Jonathan Mendoza, otherwise known as Nurse Doza. Company is MSW Nutrition. I do vitamins.com. But the talk was on the liver neuro connection. And Dr. Porter was gracious enough to sit in on because we were raving about how there's a connection between the liver and the brain that no one ever talks about.
Right.
The liver could be the most important organ next to the brain because the liver is just as important as what the brain does when it comes to overall function. If the liver is not healthy, you are not healthy. If the brain's not healthy, you're not healthy. And what's we're fascinated about is the liver and the brain do similar things for our health. They detoxify our body. So if you're sleeping at night, the brain's going to detoxify your body, and during the day, the liver's going to detoxify everything that you're encountering throughout the day. But no one ever gives enough love to your liver, so we had to create a supplement to make it convenient to basically support your liver on a daily basis, and that's what Liver Love is.
Yeah, and what I thought was fascinating was you don't have to stop doing what you're doing to do Liver Love.
Yeah.
And that was one of the problems I had. I used to take 3 days every quarter and do a liver cleanse and do all this, and of course it's inconvenient, and if you're traveling and if the family wants to do something, you can't do it, but you solve that problem. So talk about why you solved that and what you're seeing happen, because your personal story was kind of unique. I think if you can share some of that.
Sure, I would love to talk. So 20 years ago, I was about 50 pounds heavier. I was close to 200 pounds, and so I lost 45 pounds, and I've held it off for at least 15 years. So if you talk about how I did it, I learned genetically my liver doesn't function as well as other people's. So I have to take something on a daily basis to make my liver function better. Because my liver functions better, I have lost the weight and I've kept it off. So the number one thing with liver detoxification is you're gonna lose weight. And Dr. Porter and I were just talking about how much weight he has lost while taking Liver Love, right?
Right.
So if you imagine that we're holding on to inflammation, stressors, sugar, carbs, alcohol, whatever, it's all in our liver because 1 in 4 Americans have a fatty liver. And then if you think about how obese we are and how overweight we are, it's inflammation. Weight gain is a byproduct of inflammation, and the liver is the number one organ that's going to detoxify inflammation. So taking Liver Love, you literally have one pill that all you have to do is take that, right? I mean, you're taking what, 2?
I take 3.
You take 3 a day?
Because I know my liver's screwed up, so.
Well, you're not the only one here. So what I tell people is for the Liver Love, it's kind of a detox, right? So you talked about doing cleanses throughout the year. So it's not like a celery juice cleanse. This is the real deal. There's NAC, there's alpha lipoic acid, turmeric, milk thistle, dim, all within one pill. And when you take that pill, whether it's 1 or 3 pills, you're going to detoxify your liver and clean out the storage unit, which means you're going to be pooping more. The poops are going to change and look different, right? We'll be honest. You will have a reduction in inflammation where you hold on to it, which is usually around the belly and the chest, probably where you noticed it, right?
So the key is that, like you were saying, the brain and the liver are 2 organs that actually regenerate themselves. But if all they're doing is trying to stay alive, they can't work. So it's either going to be detoxing or it's going to be helping you to function with health. So let's talk a little bit, because in your talk, I remember listening and you were talking about how it's also hormonal. Right now, we're kind of women and men themselves are having all these hormonal issues, and it's tied to the liver, guys. And you could be taking all those supplements for that, but if your liver is messed up, talk a little bit about that, because when I was in your talk, I was like blown away when you were talking.
Thank you. That's a great point. So the liver regulates all your hormones. So understand that. If your hormones are off in any way, your liver is off, right? Because we have over 200 different hormones throughout the body. Most people think estrogen if they're female, testosterone if they're a male. Well, I think insulin, I think thyroid, I think adrenals, I think leptin, adiponectin. There's all these different hormones that have to be regulated by the liver. And if 1 in 4 US adults have a fatty liver, their hormones are off. And if you've been taking birth control as a female for 8, 10, or 12 years, guess what? All medications, including oral contraceptives, go into the liver to be metabolized, including the alcohol and the sugar you consume as well. So your liver is overworking itself. And so what we think about with hormones, especially women in premenopause, they should be supporting their liver today, because most women are never told how to take care of their hormones before they go into menopause. And honestly, the ingredients in Liver Love could help support healthier hormones for that female.
As you think about these things, your body is either detoxing or building health and vitality. This is actually a product thing to do them both at the same time.
Yep.
Where if we can take the stress load off our internal organs, we're going to have more energy, there's going to be physiological changes, but there's also mental changes. The clarity that you have and things of that nature. So can you tell us a few stories of what you've seen? I mean, you were giving some examples from the stage, and I thought that was good.
Yeah, mood is a big issue with most people. Let's just be honest, right? People want to lose weight, they want to feel better, right? So if you think about what kind of energy they need, what their mood needs to be like in order to focus, the first ingredient in our Liver Love supplement is B9, vitamin B9. The liver stores more vitamin B9 than any other organ in the body, and B9 is directly used to make things like serotonin and dopamine. So you imagine if you just take a consistent B9 and understanding that the liver helps somehow indirectly make serotonin and dopamine from that, the liver is involved in our mood. And what happens is let's go back to the brain. If our brain is cloudy because we lack sleep, and if our liver is inflamed because we put bad things in there, you have to imagine you're not going to feel good holding on to things that are basically inflaming you. So sleep's going to detox the stuff in the brain. The liver's going to detox the rest of the body. So your brain and liver have to be working full time, 24 hours a day in order to detoxify life. And most of the times we don't take something on a daily basis. I love braintap because 15 minutes of it equals 2 hours of sleep. You can imagine 3 pills of Liver Love a day equals what? A healthier life, better poops, better hormones, and better weight. I mean, who wouldn't want to do both of those?
Excellent.
And honestly, on a side note, I do both of them. I do braintap and Liver Love on a daily basis. So
right. So let's talk about how you're including braintap into your solution so that people understand that, because a lot of people talk about the gut-brain axis, but they don't realize what the mechanism of action is in the gut. You're explaining that that gut thing is part of it's the liver that gets left out. They think it's all the digestive process.
Yes.
So in the brain signals the gut to make all these things, but the brain really only makes less than 5%. It's all made in the gut. So talk a little bit about that.
Yes. So antioxidants are made in the liver. The biggest one we make is called glutathione. Well, the brain makes glutathione as well. The recipe in Liver Love helps your liver and your brain make more glutathione. And what's fascinating about the braintap is, I was talking to Dr. Porter and Paul at KetoCon. They said if you do braintap while you're taking your vitamins, your braintap helps the vitamins absorb better in the body. And I was blown away about it, because you were saying literally, if the body is stressed out and in sympathetic flight or fight mode, it won't be able to respond accordingly to anything in the body. So if you imagine you reset the body, recalibrate it, relax the nervous system, it's going to accept those vitamins and nutrients, and it'll work better. So we've incorporated braintap with vitamins to help the vitamins absorb better, because if the brain's healthier, it's willing to accept more nutrition.
Yeah. So it's super important. I always say number one is you cannot think of bad diet. But also, there's only 3 reasons you have trouble right now with any part of your life: thoughts, traumas, or toxins. So we need to get rid of those toxins, because think of it, if you're trying to clean or repaint a room, you got to clear everything out of it first, then you can clean and paint the room. So many people are trying to build a new body, but the body's on fire with inflammation.
Yep.
So this is one of the things you can do. So what if I forgot to ask you about the BrainTap Nation needs to know about you can talk about, you also have that other product that I take.
Oh, the resveratrol?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. So yes, that's a good point. So let's say that 1 in 4 US adults have a fatty liver, which means they're overweight, they're pre-diabetic or diabetic, they have heart disease, and they slowly have dementia creeping around the corner, right? So you imagine this is a big deal. And as a family nurse practitioner, I'm trained in preventative care, right? So what I think about is, how could I blanket that approach? How could I get to the root cause of diabetes, heart disease, and even vascular dementia? It's the liver. I swear to God, it is the liver. It is the number one thing that is going to reduce inflammation in the body outside of sleep. And everyone's sleep is horrible, right? You have to biohack your way into it with BrainTap. But imagine you say, well, how do I hack my way into a healthier liver? it essentially giving it the recipe it needs in order to function at its full capacity, right? So you imagine with the liver, if you are healthier, and let's say like, okay, I don't have cysts on my liver is healthy, what can I do to optimize? Imagine you take the liver of love, you take braintap, you take mitochondria, which has resveratrol in it, which I like better than metformin, all you biohackers, because resveratrol is a natural supplement that isn't like medication that's going to cause nutritional deficiencies. Braintap, liver love, resveratrol, which is our mitochondria, will help your mitochondria, your cells, help activate things like longevity, autophagy, mitochondrial biogenesis if you clean up all the problems with your liver and your brain to begin with. You cannot promote longevity if your brain and your liver are off in any way.
Right. Awesome. So BrainTap Nation, I want you to go check out their site. We'll have some links to it below in the comments, but where can they go to learn more about?
Perfect. School of Doza podcast is our podcast. It's all educational, 30-minute segments, PCOS, adrenals, thyroid, gut, brain, learn about it, right? And then if you want more information, go to idovitamins.com. We have a newsletter there you can sign up for at MSWLounge.com. The supplements, idovitamins.com. Just remember that. And there's blogs, podcasts, all that. You'll find great information.
I recommend you do it. I use the product. I love it. It's going to be something I continue to use because you're never there. Your body is always subject to toxic environments, whether it be from the air, the lights, and especially the foods we consume. So you need to do something on a daily basis. You've created it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's get it out to the world.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on our mission to better a billion brains. Follow at Dr. Patrick Porter on social media for updates, and remember to practice brain fitness every day.